everyone and welcome to the Get to Know Me Bookish Tag Edition. It is my birthday month, so I figured instead of doing like the birthday tag like I did last year or anything, I thought I'd do the Get to Know Me book tag. So let's get into the question. Question number one is, what is your favourite colour and do you have a book in that colour? My favourite colours are black and red, and I mean my Schwab shelf does basically cover that, but also like a lot of my Skullduggery books that you can't see, a lot of my Sean Maguire's, a lot of this bit up here as well, these Artemis Fowls. Yeah, it's basically pretty accurate to say that I have a lot of books that match those colours. I love black and red, and apparently my shelves also cover that. Oh, actually quite a few of my comics do as well, because they've got the little red Marvel logo at the top, and then, or like the red writing, and then black spines. So definitely counts down there as well. So I've got quite a few. Question number two is, describe yourself in 3 book characters. Gwenpool, definitely, because she is an absolute Marvel fangirl. If you couldn't tell, I am as well. Who's obsessed with like the films, the comics, everything else. She's got encyclopedic knowledge of it. I don't say I have encyclopedic knowledge, but I'm working on that, to say the least. I even run a blog dedicated to Marvel comics that I bang on about quite a lot. I read a lot of them. I spend most of my time thinking about Marvel. I watch a lot of their movies. I watch their movies the day they come out. I watch their TV shows the day they come out. I am mostly on Marvel TikTok. Yeah, I'm basically Gwenpool. I'd also say Addie LaRue for various ways in the way she thinks and things like this is very much like how I think about a lot of things. I related a lot to that book. And then also any Elle McNichol character. They are so relatable to me in so many different ways. It's unbelievable. Question number 3 is, hyped books, yes or no? And if yes, what is the most hyped book you've ever read? Yes, generally, though I usually like to wait until the hype has died down a little bit before I jump in. As for the most hyped book I've ever read, probably The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I mean, not just in the booktube world. I don't think many people talk about like hitchhikers in the booktube world, but in the outside world and sort of like people in general definitely talk a lot about Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and I have recently read it, so it's probably the most hyped book I've ever read. Question number 4 is, recommend 1 book per season. For spring, I'm going to say Once and Future Witches, because obviously the cover is very, very flowery, and I feel like the book is a lot about like rebirth and sort of reinventing yourself and that kind of thing, and I feel like spring's kind of like that. For summer, I'm going to say The Rat Queens, because it's a really colourful series and it's set basically outside quite a lot of the time, and the characters are off adventuring and things, which is generally what you do in the summer. For autumn, I'm going to say Bitter Root, because it's got monsters in it and monster hunters and that kind of thing, and it feels kind of spooky, which is what autumn is to me, because we're getting towards Halloween, October, spooky season, that kind of thing. I live for autumns, quite frankly, so definitely going to say Bitter Root for that. And then for winter, I'm going to say Down Among the Sticks and Bones, because everything is dead, everything is sort of like there's nothing really growing here, and also it's very dark and desolate and that kind of thing, and that feels very sort of wintry to me. Question number 5 is, name a book that wrecked you emotionally. For some reason, Artemis Fowl and The Last Guardian, the last like 100 pages had me really teary. I don't know why, I don't know what was going on with me, but I nearly cried reading this book, and I'm not a book crier, so that was something. So I don't know if it completely emotionally wrecked me, but I mean, it definitely made me emotional enough to nearly cry, so that gives you some indication of how much I really enjoyed this. Question number 6 is, name a book that you recommend to absolutely everybody. Skullduggery Pleasant. If you've been on this channel for more than 5 minutes, you know how much I love this book, and this entire series is by Derek Landy. It's an Irish set middle grade fantasy about a magical skeleton detective who teams up with a young human girl, teaches her magic, and they essentially go around solving magical mysteries and then also saving the world a lot from various massive magical world-ending threats, essentially. It is so much fun. It is filled with so many pop culture references. It is hilarious throughout it. The plot twists will give you whiplash because you've just done a double take that quickly at points, because the plot twists just come out of nowhere, and then you go back and reread the previous books and go, oh, because you see all the foreshadow coming in. It's just amazing. It is one of the most incredible book series I've ever read. It is one of my absolute favourites. If you are a fantasy reader, read this series. I don't care if you don't read middle grade, this is incredible. You have to read this entire series. It is 15 books long, and that's the main series, and then there's a couple of offshoots, and there's 2 more coming this year, including a graphic novel, so it's a lot to get through, but they are very quick reads, and they are so worth it. They are so worth it. Question number 7 is, what book do you recommend with tea and cookies? I'm going to say The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet, because this book feels like a hug. That is the only way I can describe it. This book feels like a hug in the sense that you've just got all of these characters together and it sort of feels like a slice of life. Yeah, things go bad, but it just kind of, you just feel like you're being hugged, because like love and friendship and found family win throughout, which just makes me really happy, to be honest. It just makes me really happy to read this book and think about it, and it just feels like a hug. That's the only way I can describe it. It feels like a hug. Question number 8 is, what is a guilty pleasure book? I don't really believe in guilty pleasures, to be honest, because I'm one of those people that thinks if you're enjoying yourself and you're not hurting anyone, don't feel guilty about it. So I don't really have a guilty pleasure book. Question number 9 itself is your favourite dessert and a book that reminds you of that dessert. My aunt makes the most incredible birthday cake ever, so we only get it on our birthdays, but it is the most incredible thing because it's so moist and rich and layered and wonderful, and that is going to remind me of The Fifth Season by N.K. Jemisin, because again, this is so rich and so multi-layered. It just reminds me of my aunt's cake. That's what I'm going to say. It has to be this. It's one of my favourite things to eat, and this is definitely one of my favourite series. It's so good, definitely worthy of all of the Hugo Awards it has won. And finally, question number 10 is, are you a procrastinator, and what book have you been procrastinating reading? I've been procrastinating reading The Hunger Games quite badly because I'm scared I'm not going to like it, despite the fact that it's a really popular series and it sounds like right up my alley. I'm a little bit worried there. And also my entire middle grade TBR. There's a lot on here that's on my middle grade TBR and also my like retellings list that I just haven't read yet, and I probably should. I just haven't, for no reason further than the fact that I'm procrastinating. I'm just procrastinating reading them. That's all I've got. I'm procrastinating. I'm definitely a procrastinator. That doesn't sound like a word anymore. So yeah, there's a lot of books I'm putting off reading for no reason further than the fact that I don't know. I just keep on doing it. I have no excuse, I just keep on doing it. And that is the end of the Get to Know Me book tag edition. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give me a thumbs up. Comment down below, tell me what your answers are to this. I'd love to know. Or if you don't have that much time, leave me a birthday cake emoji down below to let me know that you were here. I'll also leave a link as well down below to all of my social media if you want to check it out, including to the Comic Book Sanctum, which is my website dedicated to Marvel Comics, as well as to my Etsy and Redbubble store, which sells bookish merch if you're interested in that. Or if you just want to see any more of my videos, please click subscribe here. And over here will be the link to my previous video. But until next time, everyone, bye!